What's up guys, Cody from Southeast Softwash. I did a live video yesterday with a really oxidized vinyl shutter, and I've got another one here, so I'm going to do another video today. Not a live, but just a standard video, so you guys can see very oxidized vinyl shutter, and it's supposed to be that color, the green. Green's really bad about oxidizing. So in the live comments on that video, the live video from yesterday, I had a bunch of dudes saying, well, you didn't cut it like it's supposed to be cut. You put it on straight. And I did. I just took this jug and threw some on there. I know if you're looking for a way for it to not be the truth, you'll find it. So today we're going to replicate the exact same thing. Got an empty spray bottle here, and we're going to try to cut it about 4:1 or so, which should work just fine for this project. Now, the thing about oxidation is it's a pretty pro level service, guys. It's probably the most finicky thing that we can do in our business out there pressure washing and soft washing, because you could have something like vinyl, which is relatively easy to get oxidation off, but it's really severe in this case. Temperature fluctuations, dwell time fluctuations, guys getting in a hurry and not letting it sit long enough, which I have a tendency to do that, letting it dry, not keeping it wet. So there's a lot of variables, and I think that's why so many dudes struggle. They want to say they're struggling with Ox-Knox. What it is they're struggling with life. They don't understand their craft. They've probably never done really any oxidation jobs, and this is their first go around with it, and so it's whooping them. We've got a ton of other guys that have had great success, and all of those videos are on our channel, and we've actually embedded some of them on our website, and there's a ton of them in our private Facebook group, the Southeast Softwash Chemical Experts group. We got about 15,000 people in there, and there's a bunch of dudes in there that have done their own videos. Ricky Carter's done some, not sponsored by us, just a good dude, done some videos. Dan Wright. Other people are having success with Ox-Knox, okay? So what does that tell us? If I'm able to do it on camera right here in front of you, these other guys are doing it on camera, but then you see a bunch of times where it didn't work. Well, the chem didn't change, okay? So it's a user error problem, and I'm just literally kind of running out of things to say. So I'm gonna stop addressing Ox-Knox at some point, because I feel like I've now proven this plenty of times. Coming here, AJ, pretty close. And we're just going to try to do the bottom half of this shutter. I reckon it really be like that. That would be the bottom half. So it's really oxidized. This was the worst one that my sister gave me. These, they came off an old house, and pretty severely oxidized shutter. So what we're going to do is spray this bottom section, just this bottom lower panel right here. Okay. And we're going to let that sit. All right. Dwell time is the key. We want to give this at least probably 3 to 5 minutes of dwell time. That's very important to let it stay wet. Now it's November here. It's not hot outside. It's like it's hot, but it's not midsummer hot. So that's going to stay wet a pretty good while, and I can test it. It's been about 20 seconds. I can take my finger and just lightly rub right there, and y'all can see. Look at that, it's already coming off. Okay, now we're not gonna brush it, but we are gonna let it sit, and then we're gonna rinse it off with a ball valve with a 5 gallon a minute. I got a mini skid on the other side of the wall, and the tank's full of water, so that's a good one to use, and we're gonna rinse that off with the ball valve. So we'll stop the footage for just a second, and actually, let's not stop the footage. I'll just time lapse. I'll speed the footage up during this few minutes where we're just kind of sitting here waiting. But that's important. You've got to let it stay on the surface, and if you're doing this on a hot day, you may need to reapply. Well, you can't do that if you don't have enough material. Okay, so make sure you plan your jobs accordingly. You can't blame it on the chem. If you're running out and you don't have enough, you try to dilute it too far down. This was about 4:1, I think, is what we did. You guys saw me do it on camera. So we'll sit here a few minutes and we'll wait around. We'll be right back in a second. Again, we're just gonna let the video run, and I'll speed it up so there's no camera tricks. We've been accused of camera trick. Come on, guys. All right, we'll be back in a few seconds. Just let the video run. Okay, so one coat. We are here in the sun. It's still wet, but it's headed towards drying. It's been about 3 minutes or so. You guys can check the timestamps, I guess, but we're gonna rinse this thing off with the ball valve. All right, so you do need a little bit of pressure to rinse it. Hopefully the shutter won't fall over. All right, guys, let me go cut the machine off. So what did we learn here? We have a very oxidized shutter, a 4-to-1 or so Ox-Knox out of a spray bottle, and rinsing it off with a ball valve, not letting it dry. So the thing yesterday in the live was, well, you put it on straight, that's why it worked. Well, that's 4-to-1, and it worked just as good. There's no difference. You also saw me come up here and rinse some of this area just to show you that the ball valve alone is not doing anything. You can see exactly where I sprayed the Ox-Knox is where it works. So I'm gonna go ahead probably and clean half of this shutter. I'm gonna mount this in the training room, and this is gonna be called the shutter of shame. And we're gonna leave it up in there for guys to look at and wonder why they can't figure out how to use Ox-Knox. That's gonna be a you problem. We'll see you guys in the next video. Ox-Knox links down below. Chems, we got the best chems in the game, guys. There you go, proof's in the pudding. We'll see you later.